Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with American Vineyard Magazine, reporting to you here with Laurel Marcus. She is from the California Land Stewardship Institute, and she's teamed up with the Sonoma County Winegrowers in taking their sustainability to the next level with this Climate Adaptation Certification program, because they've reached just about 100% sustainability there, and so the next thing is this Climate Adaptation Certification. Can you tell us about it?
The climate program is currently in a pilot phase. So we're working with the Sonoma Winegrowers. We've identified about 20 vineyard sites where we're going to apply an assessment process to create a farm plan that looks at all the different practices within the vineyard as well as the rest of the land. So it could be a field, it could be a forest, it kind of just depends on where it is. And we will be using a pretty state-of-the-art model called Comet Farm. It was developed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, updated by the California Department of Food and Agriculture. And what it does is it looks at the history of the site, the current practices. So this would be things like when fertilizer is applied, how much is applied, when irrigation is done, when tillage is done, what kind of cover crops are used. And then it calculates out the greenhouse gas emissions for those practices. And then we talk to the grower and we identify 2 additional alternative ways that they could be managing. And we run the model on those 2 alternatives. So these are alternatives that include practices that they would be interested in doing. So it's not like we're imposing our view of how they should farm. It's more like they're telling us, yeah, I could go from full tillage to conservation tillage, or, oh yeah, I could, put a grass filter strip in that area, those kind of things. And so then we compare the 3 different versions of the model, the existing conditions, the 2 scenarios. And that model will tell us greenhouse gas emission changes, and it will tell us how much carbon is sequestered.
Right.
Now, we are encouraging the planting of native plants along any kind of waterway, any kind of extra room where it wouldn't interfere with the vineyard, those kind of things, as well as woody plants for hedgerows. Those have the additional benefit of supporting natural enemies or beneficial insects, and therefore reducing, the need for pesticides. We also look at water conservation, healthy soil practices. There's a whole bunch of different things. And each one of these plans is customized to the site because the type of soil makes a huge difference, clay versus sand, in terms of the sort of output that you would get from the model.
Right.
And so we're doing this on a pilot basis so that we can really get a good quantitative idea of what sort of practices really show the biggest changes. Mm-hmm. And then, begin to change the program, modify it, and then be able to use it in other places.
Right, and a lot of these practices that we'll be adopting with this program are things that some growers are probably already doing. So this is kind of like the sustainability certification. We're trying to help the public know that growers are being responsible stewards for their land. So I think this is a win-win situation. This is great. Do you see this as something that can expand beyond Sonoma County wine grapes?
Yes, absolutely. We run a program called Fish-Friendly Farming Certification in about 10 counties, and for crops other than wine grapes. And we've given presentations in several different counties and found great interest by the growers in doing the climate certification. So we're very happy to work with Sonoma County to get the pilot done and work with their growers, and then based on those results, modify the program and then open it up to other locations. And, we've met with different agencies and they're very excited about this as well. So I think it's something that, because it's going to support agriculture, it's not regulatory in nature, it's voluntary. I think it's something that will be popular in the future.
Great. Well, thank you for your work and collaboration with wine grape growers here in the North Coast. Read more about these things in American Vineyard Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.